Hi, good evening. This is Mike from Mikesunboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday. I'm not even sure what the date is. What date is it? Saturday, the 20th of October 2018. And what an October has turned out to be so far. Lots of product launches. We've had Nvidia releasing the new graphics cards this month. And we've just, a couple of days ago, had the new RTX 2070 graphics cards come out, which has been slightly underwhelming and slightly worrying at the same time. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later on. Also this week we've had new mobile phones come out. We've had Pixel 3, we've had the iPhones come out, the XS or XR or whatever it is. And also we have had new phone from Huawei. Now the Huawei, I think it's the Mate 20 or 8, something like that. Basically it's a new camera with a phone attached to it, or a phone with a camera attached to it, whichever way you want to see it. Essentially that's the way that most of these things are going nowadays, so we've had that come out as well. So it's been a sort of an interesting week. Oh, actually, of course, we've had the Intel i9s have been officially, well, not officially released, but they were officially released a couple of weeks back, or a week or so back, but we've had the first of the official kind of third-party reviews come out. And we've had some pretty different results from the original test results we had from PT a couple of weeks back, which caused a lot of concern within the kind of reviewing community, and also the kind of the overclocking community, and all those gamers and all the people that are likely to buy it, all the enthusiasts. So it's come out and they've now turned around and said, yes, the i9 9900K is still the fastest CPU for gaming, which the Intel 8 series already had that crown anyway, but thank you Siri. But Intel already had that crown anyway, so they basically gained nothing at all. I can turn her on, but I can't turn her off. So Intel already had that crown. And basically the 9 series coming out, not a great deal has changed for some reason. It seems that Intel have done something slightly bizarre, and I don't quite get it. Now, I'm not in the industry. Oh, technically I kind of am, because I do IT reviews and things like that, but I'm not actually in the sort of reviewing community as such on that higher level. But I don't see why Intel have released this chip. It makes no sense, apart from the fact that it seems that they are probably running scared at the moment, which we'll get into that a little bit more later on anyway. So yeah, we've had those releases. Been some interesting products, but it's been a weird time coming up to the run up to Christmas, in the sort of holiday season, Thanksgiving, etc, etc. There's been nothing out there which has come out in the last couple of weeks, or a couple of months for that matter, which has made me really want to raid the piggy bank and go, hey, I need that in my life. How do you guys feel about it? It's a really weird time. I remember years ago, it used to be this time of year, you'd have a real cracking phone come out, or a fantastic piece of hardware, or like a killer piece of software that you just had to have. And there'd be queues outside of shops. The Apple Store would have queues down Covent Garden or Covent Street or wherever the hell it is in London. There'd be massive queues for these new phones, whereas now everything's a bit meh. No one's interested. What is going on? So who we got with us tonight? So we got Lil Shit. There goes my PG rating. Charles Arnold, good evening to you. Ninja47, good evening. Angel. Hello Angel, how are you? I haven't seen you for ages. I've forgotten what you look like. I bet you've grown. Elias Stenner. That's a new face, or well, not a new face, new name, I don't recognise it, but hi, welcome to the channel, good evening. Now, that's an interesting question. Do you think AMD Ryzen 7 2600X is a good processor? Now, this is actually part and parcel of what I'm kind of alluding to at the moment. AMD's comeback, it's already begun this year. Arguably, some would say last year as well, with the official first release of the Ryzen processors. For me, the Ryzen 3 has been a fantastic deal. The early 1200, 1200X, etc, etc. Then you've got the Ryzen 5, the 1600, which is still, in my opinion, possibly the best choice of CPU you can possibly buy. and its replacement, the Ryzen 5 2600, and even the Ryzen 7s for those of you that are creators or need the extra threads, streamers, gamers, etc., whatever. The Ryzen 7 has been a massively popular processor, especially in the YouTube community. You talk to a lot of people who do video editing or streaming, and the Ryzen 7, pretty much 9 times out of 10 is their go-to processor. So to answer the question there, is the AMD Ryzen 7 2600X a good processor? Yeah, definitely. But do you need that much power? The Ryzen 5 with its 6 cores, 12 threads is pretty much sufficient for most things these days. It depends what you're using it for and what your needs are, but hell yeah, it's a great processor. And I think that's why Intel are kind of running scared at the moment. They brought out this new monster CPU. They've added solder to the interface to make it run a little bit cooler, or to allow some overclocking. Why? Why did they need to do that? They already had the fastest mainstream desktop CPU on the planet. Why did they need to better it? Why did they need to release another version? I know they have the kind of yearly cycles, but they were in the winning position. Why bother? Reason being, because AMD are right up their asses at the moment and are bringing out some fantastic products at much better prices. So if you're looking at performance per dollar or performance per pound or rupee or whatever your currency is, AMD totally are ruling the roost at the moment. And from the questions I get on the channel and the feedback I get from you guys, most of my questions are about Ryzen processors. What Ryzen processor should I get? What is a good combination? I can't remember the last time somebody actually asked me a question about Intel processors or Intel motherboards. It's been a complete change from probably 2 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, where even in our house here, my computer was Intel, Cap's computer was Intel, the one in the front room was Intel, our Surface is Intel, still is Intel because you can't change that, but we were pretty much dominated in the household with Intel processors, whereas now it's completely flipped. My computer, Ryzen, Cap's computer, Ryzen, my streaming PC, Ryzen, my little gaming PC down there is a Ryzen, even the one in the front room, the little media center, is an AMD processor. So we've gone almost completely full circle, whereas years ago when the AMD K6 500s were around with the 3D now, everyone was going for them because they were the chip to get. And then through the years a little bit further with the first AMD Athlon 64, it completely killed off the Pentium 4. And it looks like we're getting to that stage again. So yes, for AMD at the moment, it's pretty exciting times. And for more reasons than one, which I'll get onto in a little bit. Just going to see if there's any more questions here. Oh, what have I done now? Right, I need to pop out my chat. And who have we got? So, yeah, some new faces, new names and new faces. William Brand, good evening. How are you doing? Lil shit, Ryzen sucks. Intel for the win. Well, coming from someone with a username like Lil shit, I kind of expect that kind of comment. So thank you very much. Angel's phone's going to die, but we'll be back later. Now, if I had an AMD processor in, it would be much better. So, Elias, I'm going to buy a new computer, a Ryzen 7 2600X, Asus 1070 8GB, 8 gigs of RAM, 240 gig SSD. Yeah, that's a pretty damn fine setup there. You haven't really said what you're going to use it for, but yeah, it's a great setup. Now, the only thing that I would... This is where I'm going back to the graphics cards thing, and AMD, Nvidia have basically, in my opinion, screwed themselves. Now, the reason for that is because traditionally, people who are building computers, you, I, all the people that are watching probably, when you're building a gaming PC or a general PC for gaming, work, pleasure, whatever it may be, normally the biggest majority of people are going to buy a graphics card which is going to be between the kind of 150 to £300 or dollars or whatever your currency is, that kind of area, graphics card. That has been pretty much like that for the last 10 years or so. Ever since graphics cards such as the Radeon HD 4870, the first of the GDDR5 graphics cards, which released the kind of magical price point of $299. And from then on, really all the high-end or top level graphics cards were around about that sort of mark. So £300. As it gradually started increasing, people left those graphics cards to the kind of the real enthusiasts, but people were still buying the graphics cards from the 150, 200 to £300 or dollar mark. Now, traditionally for Nvidia, that would be like the GTX 670, the 770, the recent 970, which has been my current sort of budget kind of value award winning processor, GPU, the go-to one. But the 1070, kind of, we jumped a massive amount in pricing from what previous models were of that range. Now, yeah, the horsepower, the graphics card, the 1070 is borderline kind of 980 Ti, and the Ti version of the 1070 treads on the toes of the 1080. So Nvidia have kind of shifted their product range. So the 1050 almost became the 70 version of the previous generation, if you kind of get what I mean. So there's been this weird kind of shift in pricing, and with the top level GPUs now going at kind of $600, $700, $800 is a jump too far for a lot of people, especially those building PCs. So between Intel and Nvidia, both of them the market leaders for computer components, really, for enthusiasts, have they killed off PC gaming and PC building? And is it now AMD's turn to take the reins with the lower prices, with the more affordable equipment, which still performs at a really good level? Is it now going to be their turn to take the stage and leave Intel and Nvidia to do the high-end stuff, and for AMD to kind of cover the entry level and the mainstream, and the enthusiasts can go for the higher end stuff? I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let's see who else we got in here. So Paul Donaldson, good evening, Paul. Little shit says, you get what you pay for. Yeah, you do, but you get a lot less now for your money than what you did, which is what my point is, and also why I think that AMD are going to win. Look, I'm surrounded by these things. So I've got Ryzen 3, which is in the machine behind me, 1700X, which is in my machine over there. I've got a 1700 in that one. The last AMD, well, sorry, the last Intel processor I bought was the, what was it? Is the I can't even remember what it was now. It was quite recent as well, but it was a very, very low end processor. It was like a, what is a Pentium? It's a G540, I think it was. 5400? 640? 740? I don't know what it was. I made a video on it. That is how unmemorable the whole event was. I can't even remember what it was, which says a lot for Intel and where they're going. I really don't understand why they're bumping these prices up. And it seems to be happening all the way through the PC market. Look at RAM prices. RAM prices are through the roof. You could get 8 gigs of RAM a few years back, £30 quite easily, brand spanking new in the box. Whereas now you're still looking 60, 70 pounds or dollars, whichever the case may be. Everything seems to have doubled up in price, but we haven't had double the jump in performance, not by a long way. The new Intel processor, the i9, you're looking at maybe a 10 to 15% improvement in performance, but for nearly an extra $150, $200. That to me doesn't scream good value. That screams desperation. But hey, what do I know? What Paul Donaldson? Kath says I got to go to see what Paul Donaldson says. What is he said? Paul Donaldson, he's got his Mikesunboxing t-shirt on, drinking gin and tonic and lime. And thanks for the live stream. You are very welcome. And for those of you that are watching this live stream, don't forget there's a button on your, hang on, which way am I pointing? There's a button down there for subscribing, and down under there somewhere, or is it just there somewhere? I forget. It's down here somewhere. There's one of those and one of those. Preferably, give me one of those, but put some comments in the comment section as well. That's all really good.
Yes.
So Ninja said, I don't see the point in these expensive Intel and AMD CPUs. My i5 6500 is still very reliable when gaming. The same goes for GPUs. The GTX 970 is a great example, still a great card. I couldn't have put it better. Ninja, that is my point exactly. Unless you've got a specific need or something which will not run, why upgrade? Yeah, it's nice to have the latest and greatest, which we've kind of been programmed into doing by Apple by releasing a new iPhone every year or every 18 months or however long it's been. And now Google and all the others are getting on the act, so there's that yearly refresh. I suppose a lot of it comes from mobile phone contracts, with them kind of trying to want a product to entice the users to keep their contract going by upgrading to a new phone. And it seems that we've got into that kind of product cycle now, which is pretty unnecessary in my opinion, especially seeing, well, most of the, pretty much all of the processors in the computers in this room are getting on for 2 years old at least, and they're still doing as well as they did then. There's not really a change. Phone wise as well, CAF's using their iPhone 7. I've just bought an iPhone, it really hurts me to say it, I bought an iPhone 7 Plus, which actually, in fairness, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I, struggling to say it now, I'm getting choked up. I am actually starting to get to grips with it and actually finding it pretty okay. There's still a few things which really do piss me off with it. The Google integration is horrendous. So if you're into a Google ecosystem, the iPhone is still a bit of a stretch, which I think a lot of people would agree with, but overall it is actually a pretty damn good phone. And there's a video that I've done which I'll be releasing either later tonight or tomorrow, actually a video on these wireless earbuds, which are really cool. And I actually shot quite a lot of the footage on the iPhone 7 Plus. Now, considering I've been using the Lumix G7, which is like a £500 camera, and that's a £250, £300 phone, I'd be interested to see if you guys can actually notice the difference in the two cameras when it actually comes down to the final edit. That'd be interesting. But anyway. So what else have we got? What else are people saying tonight? Come on, everybody! Like, yeah, come on, everybody!
Yes. It cost $850.
It costs what costs the 2080 Ti, but you're going to stream on Twitch and play Fortnite. Cool. If you've got the money to burn, why not? You could easily stream and encode at the same time on a 1070. You could probably do it on a 970 or a 980 and save yourself £600 or $600. But if you've got the money and you want it, hey, why not? Go for it. I don't think anyone would think any less of you for buying a expensive product. If we could all afford it, I'm pretty damn sure that we'd all have it. But there are some of us that have got mortgages and children and other expenses, so you have to kind of weigh up what is realistic and what can you justify, which is where pretty much I would say a large percentage, maybe 60–70% of Intel, AMD and Nvidia's target audience are in that boat, where they are people who have got bills, who've got things, expenses, dependents, etc. They haven't got the disposable income they used to have because of things are getting more expensive, so things are going to start tightening up. I've just read a comment there and I don't know the context of it. Kath, oh yes, a really nice fit.
The t-shirt.
I'm presuming that is talking about the t-shirt that we sent you. I hope it fits, a really nice fit. Excellent. I'm glad, I'm happy. And it's good because it's made a bit of space in my wardrobe, because I had a couple of those and I was never going to get in them. Although the way I've been eating recently and Christmas coming up, I'll probably could go for a larger size. So right, £1,200. People want more than average 60 XPS, then you need to pay for it. Most people will pay. Yeah, most people £200 will get them what they want for a couple of years. C McKnight, totally right. And actually, C McKnight, everybody has been brilliant, and between him, myself, and Welsh Tony, they've been basically keeping the Discord server alive at the moment. So thanks, C McKnight. Oh, and C McKnight, did you bid on the power supply? I think it ended about 5-10 minutes ago. Now, William Brand, that's an interesting... Hey Mike, what do you think about the Ryzen 5 2400? I'm considering using it for my first build. My budget is around £400. The Ryzen 5 2400G is a very odd one. Now, the reason I say that is because of the way it's priced. At its retail price, its MSRP, it isn't a great choice. Primarily because this exists, the 2200G. No, that's not. That's the 1200. Wrong box. The 2200G versus the 2400G, in my mind, is the better value. If you're going to pair it up with the graphics card for gaming, then definitely. If a graphics card is completely off of your charts at the moment, or maybe you're looking at getting one in the holiday season, that's on your wish list, then the 2400G makes a good placeholder, and it will play games, and the 4 cores, 8 threads is really useful if you're going to do things like streaming and things like that. If it's purely for gaming, I would say go with a Ryzen 2200G and then get a graphics card at a later date if you can. Even a cheap graphics card like a GTX 660 or a Radeon HD 7850 is pretty much going to be better than the Vega 8 or Vega 11, give or take a little bit. So for the sake of the extra £30, you could get a separate graphics card. What you could save on the processor, again, it depends what you're using it for. If you're on a real tight budget, then I'd go for the 2200G. Hopefully that's answered your question. But at the end of the day, flip a coin. '80s horror fans in the house, good evening. And Kath has put the link on for the Discord server, so make sure you will join us on there. You don't have to be an active member, but it can be quite interesting on there at times. And also, C McKnight does find a lot of bargains all the time and posts them in the bargain basement threads. So if you're ever looking for a bargain, or you're looking for a cheap PC or refurbished PC, he's your man, and he posts the links on there, so definitely check those out.
Are you from London?
No, I'm not from London. I'm not, well, in geographical terms, we're not far from London. We're about 100 miles away from London, which for people who live in kind of these larger, massive countries like America, that's kind of like a doorstep away. In the UK, it does seem like a lot further because we are quite a small island, and we've never been there. The last time I went to London was a school trip back in the 80s. So I don't get out much. I don't need to get out. I've got the internet and Google. If I want to see London, I'll go on Google Maps. That's fine. And I don't have to pay the congestion charge, so it's all good. Epic Gamers in the house. Oh, we got... So what were questions? Thinking about getting RX 570 or the 1060 around May. Now, William, that is an interesting thing. I was expecting this week for the Radeon RX 670s to be out, or to be at least acknowledged that they're going to be out. Same for the 680s, which are kind of the refresh from the 580s. But it seems to be really quiet on that. I don't know why. Whether the mainstream news is kind of trying to not give AMD too much kind of press presence at the moment because of Nvidia's launch. I don't know. Seems weird. But 570, or if it's 1060, if it's the 1060 6GB, which is going to be probably a lot more expensive, that would be the better card. If you're looking at the 1060 3GB, I would probably go with the RX 570. Maybe. I don't know. Depends on what games you play. Obviously, there are some games which are completely nerfed in favour of Nvidia. Things like Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that kind of thing. Seam at night, yeah, second-hand 2200G and a 50 quid second-hand card makes for a really potent little system. Trust me, because I've got 2200G in a machine behind me. I put a 970 in there, or the GTX 660 Ti's I had. Plays Far Cry 5 all day long, no problems at all. Yeah, and you can sell the card later on. This is true, this is true. I think the 6 series is taking at Intel right now. Yeah, I think you might be right there. Right, okay, so let's talk about some of the things that we've been looking at and playing around with this week. Now, first, which will I do? Yeah, this will lead into each other. So, first of all, my first rant is basically I promoted the hell out of this board. Well, I didn't promote the hell out of it, I bought it and said, it's a good idea, get one, it's a cheap price. And with the rebate that you can get from CCL in the UK, they were offering £30 worth of Steam vouchers when you bought this model. So the board itself was about £50, £47, something like that, and they reduced it a little bit later to 44. So giving away £30 worth of free Steam vouchers, which makes the board kind of £15, £20 worth of board if you're going to use the vouchers, or you're going to buy Steam games anyway, which I guess most of us probably will at some point. The offer was on, and I didn't read the fine print, which stupidly I didn't think about it at all. And I actually picked up the deal originally from a website called Hot UK Deals. I don't know if some of you have been there. It's actually a really good resource for gaming parts, computer parts, and basically special offers all over. So actually I'll put some links in there in the video if you're watching this on the catch up. Yeah, basically somebody actually from CCL posted the deal pointing these out, and they said that you get the free vouchers. Now, they didn't mention in the deal that there was anything to do with time limits or first come, first served. So I've had this here for a couple of weeks since I did the video, because I've not got around to do anything with it. And I had a bit of a quiet moment, so I thought, well, I'll redeem the vouchers while I'm at it. It makes for an interesting video, show people how to redeem it. And I went to the site and the redemption option was gone. So, right, okay. So got hold of their technical support and asked them what the deal was. And they said, oh, I can't answer the question. The guy who deals with promotions is at lunch, as obviously they always are, and he'll get back to me. So I got a nice email come back saying, here's the link for the promotion, click here to redeem your vouchers. So I'm like, cool, excellent. Clicked on the link, this page no longer exists. This promotion has ended. So here we go. So got back in contact with them, says promotion's ending, what's going on? And they said, you didn't read the fine print. It's like, no, I just bought the board because you had a big offer attached to it. So basically the fine print was the offer ends the end of October 2018. Now for the observant amongst you at the moment who are watching this video as live, will realise today is the 20th. And I emailed them beginning of this week, which is obviously before the 20th, and a few weeks before the 31st of October. So even in the even finer fine print, there was a bit saying subject to availability, which they kept really, really quiet. So they could have had 5 vouchers for 500 motherboards. So there was no idea. It was basically, it's like a lottery. So I'm quite pissed off with this. It's still a good board, and for the money, yeah, it's okay, but it should have been a much better deal. And I feel really let down that CCL haven't pointed out this or made a thing about it, or even warned you in the big print saying redeem your vouchers or first come first served in bigger writing. It's really soured the deal, and unless CCL got some super magical offers on in the coming months, I cannot see me purchasing stuff from them again. So buyer beware. If you see it something which looks too good to be true, chances are it probably is. So that's my rant over about that. So if anybody wants one of these, you can have it cheap. Let me know in the comments. Now, Zifo has asked a question: GTX 1060 6GB or RX 580 8GB? That is a tricky one, and I would say that's going to come down to cost. If you, if they're the same price, I would be tempted to go with a 1060. If the 580 is, say, 10 to 20 pounds cheaper, I would go with the 580. Hopefully that helps. Again, it's very dependent on the games you play. Certain games are completely biased in favour of Nvidia. Things like any games that have hairworks or any of those special features. Physics, not so much these days, but you get the idea. Even AMD titles, Far Cry, for instance, which was an AMD sponsored title, they didn't have anything in it which would nerf an Nvidia card. So it is completely fair, completely open. It's a shame that Nvidia won't do the same, but they are the market leaders, so they get to do that. £50, damn, yeah, that's what I said, £50, damn. It's a pretty cool board. It's a X370 chipset, so it's not a sack of spanners, but it's something that I wouldn't have bought if I didn't get the vouchers. But I'll find a use for it. Thank you, Paul Donaldson. 17 watching, 9 likes, and a whopper who put a thumbs down. Mike is working hard for us. All like now and give a helping hand. Bless you, Paul. That's very kind of you. Some people actually, if they're probably watching on tablets or mobile phones, it isn't actually easy to do that, especially if you're watching in landscape mode, because all the buttons are hidden. So don't feel bad if you haven't pressed the button, but if you are watching on a mobile, if you twist it that way, you should be able to see the like button. But don't feel pressured.
You can close the chat.
Oh yeah. Right, also right, okay, so I think I've answered all. Seamanite, oh shit, I just ordered from CCL. Yeah, well, to be honest with you, if it's most things from CCL, generally they are pretty good. I've had some good deals from them in the past. It's just the voucher thing, turning it into a lottery, the first come first serve thing is a little bit crap, in my opinion. They should have made it more transparent. I think that's the right word. Anyway, moving on. So, what else this week? Right, let's get rid of these AMD processors, as much as I love them. My babies. For some reason, there's a sponge there. Oh yeah, the cat was using it as a pillow. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, or a while back, I purchased one of these. This is a Silicon Power 1 terabyte portable drive. Now this I got from eBuyer. It's on a special offer, reduced to, I think it was £29 down from 40, which, considering it's a 1 terabyte drive, the drive on its own inside the caddy is worth like 35, 40 pounds. The fact that it's got a caddy and I can plug it in USB 3 and it's got fast transfer speeds, yada yada yada, really good, great, happy daily. So in the meantime, after this, Calf being Calf decided to contact Silicon Power and say, we like your stuff, do you have anything we could review? So luckily they got back to us and said, yeah, we like your channel. Weirdly, I don't know why, hopefully they give me likes as well and subscribed. But they sent me another drive to test. Now I've done the video on this, so you may have seen this already. If you have, I do apologise, but there is part of this story which is going somewhere, so do bear with me on this. So this is essentially the same as that. This is a 1 terabyte mechanical hard drive in a robust, bouncy caddy, and it comes with a cable which is attached. Now this is a USB A to A cable, which you don't see very often, if I'm honest. You can get them, Amazon sell them for kind of a couple of pounds, if that. But A to A cables, I've always thought were a bad idea because of the voltages. But apparently, it's okay, and they can actually be used for for transferring of data between USB devices. So, bought this, got given this, and I thought, yeah, that's great. It's happy days. Got something else to back up my stuff when I'm doing stuff out and about, doing footage outside or using the laptop outside. It's quite nice to have my footage on here so I can edit it or look at it and make sure it's all okay. So that was that. Now, I've also got a Tanix TX3 Android box, which is for watching dodgy TV.
That's always in the box.
Which is one of these, which is always in the box because I use the PC. But this has been a really popular thing on the channel, so I thought to myself, these do have problems every now and then. The firmware needs upgrading, or sometimes you put software on there and they die for some reason. They just corrupt themselves and they just won't boot or do anything. Now, normally the fix for that is to press the reset button with the power, wait for it to come up to the Android recovery, and you're all good. But sometimes they're completely dead, nothing at all. So the only way you can get it back up and running is by using the Amlogic USB burn-in tool, which I had planned on doing a video on. So I deliberately corrupted the firmware on this so it wouldn't boot. And then when I went to do the update for the Amlogic software, you had to have a USB A to A cable, which was a great thing because that came with it. So I didn't have to spend a couple of pounds to get a cable, which I had in my Amazon shopping basket, but I just never got around to doing. Because I thought, well, I don't want to spend money if I don't have to. I'll wait. So basically, A to A cable, you plug this into your laptop, you plug that into there, you run the software, and it flashes the firmware via the USB port. And it actually worked first time, well, pretty much first time. You can't plug it into USB adapters, you have to plug it directly into a USB port. So no front panel headers or no extension cables or hubs or anything like that. It's got to be directly into a USB port. How it knows it's in one, Lord only knows, but that is the only way it worked. So managed to recover that, and if you're looking at getting a TX3 Mini, which are really good, especially with Christmas coming up and you want to watch Christmas movies and new Avengers films and all that kind of stuff which is coming out, if you want to watch them for free, get yourself one of these and enjoy your Christmas. So, and if you do get one and you manage to screw it up completely like I did, then you can watch my other video and you can repair it for yourself. So that was the story behind that. So that's happened this week as well, and that was quite a good video to do. I was quite pleased with that. So that was something else we did this week. Now the next thing we've done this week are these cool headphones. Now, if you're into fitness or you have to travel on public transport and you don't want to be pestered by people, or you have to drive in your car for ages and you don't want to have like a Bluetooth set up in your car, these are cool. Now these are wireless earbuds. Now they're magnetic, so they just plop in there, he says, and when they go back in, they start charging. So that unit charges up like a power bank. There's a battery in there, and you keep your buds in there, and it keeps them charged up. Charge them about 4 or 5 times on a full charge. That's if you completely drain them. Battery lasts for a few hours. If it's on constantly, if it's on standby, obviously it'll last a lot longer. But I thought that was a dead handy thing. You can have that in your car, chuck it in the glove box or stick it in your bag. It's in a really solid case and it shuts itself magnetically. So if you're expecting a call, stick them in your ears and you can carry on driving. It's fantastic.
Charge the case as you're driving.
Yeah, and you can even charge the case as you're driving from a USB port or whatever. So if it does ever get a little bit low on battery, which if it charges 4 or 5 times, you could probably get away with doing it once a week if you're doing a regular commute. But anyway, I thought they were really cool. These are about £45, which is about a third of the price of the Apple ones. But to me, these look a lot cooler. And with that sort of glowing ring, don't know if you can see that, is it still glowing? So with the glowing ring on there, I reckon they look really cool. Oh, it's gone out now. Let's turn it back on. Well, that's probably a bad idea. So there, you get the idea. They look pretty cool. I like that. And because it fits in your ear, they don't fall out very easily. And I did the chewing gum test, so chewing gum or doing hula hoop or just doing stuff, and they don't want to fall out your ear, which a lot of these earbuds tend to. So I think they're really cool. And if you're looking at getting someone a Christmas present, that is a great little thing to do, because it's about the right sort of money, 40 odd pounds. So it's a nice gift, and it's the sort of thing that pretty much everybody can use, because almost everybody's got Bluetooth on their phone or listens to music. So happy days. So if you want one, again, Kath will probably put the link in the description very shortly. She may not. I don't know. Looks like she's going to do it now. So help out your pals here at Mike's Unboxing, Kath and Mike. Help us generate a little bit of income on the channel, and use the Amazon links in the description and in the chat, because every little helps, no matter how much it is. And if you guys are building systems this year at Christmas or buying stuff for Christmas, use our Amazon links and give us a little kickback for all the hard work that Kath puts in. Don't give it to me, because I'm the dick, so, but Kath does all the hard work. Right, I'm gonna grab my tea in a minute, so, my virtually empty tea. Let's have a quick look in the comments and see what's going on. Is AMD good for gaming and streaming like Fortnite? Yes. I think it's shown recently. I watched Gamers Nexus review on the 990K, and although it gets much better frame rates or higher frame rates, the thing that matters, which is kind of the end output for viewers on Twitch and YouTube, the consistency of the frame rates is pretty much the same for the 2700K, the 2700X and the 9900K. There's not a great deal between it, especially if you're streaming it kind of 10 or 12 megabit per second. Thank you. Oh yeah, I got to do a shout out. Cash just remind me. There's Alex Silva. I don't know if are you watching? Is he here? I don't know. I can't see. I can't tell who's in here or who's not. But Alex Silva. There was a video I did, and he commented first, which obviously is a thing. And I said, "Congratulations, you win." And then I didn't answer any comments that he sent, and he's like, what do I win? Oh, that's great, fantastic. Basically, I just told him, you've won the knowledge that you were first to comment in this video, so congratulations, and you are cool. So he didn't really get a lot for being first, but I did say I'll give him a shout out. He wanted a shout out on Twitch or some other technology thing, but I haven't got it. I've got YouTube. So Alex, if you're watching or listening, thanks for being first. Tech news of the week. Yes, tech news of the week. Now this is the one I heard. I was driving along the other day, and I almost crashed because I heard that Nick Clegg, who was kind of famously a Liberal Democrat in the UK, who was a kind of a joint party leader, stroke understudy, stroke spare part for David Cameron. And I found out that he is going to be the kind of the envoy, or I can't remember what the actual technical term was for the job that they've given him, but basically he is going to be responsible for public relations, I think it is, for Facebook. It's like, okay, so you've got this company, Facebook, which is worth billions of pounds, which is kind of aimed at young and trendy and cool people, or at least was and is trying to be. And they've got Nick Clegg, who's like a, I don't know, 40-something, 50-something-year-old guy. It's just, that to me seems like a massive, massive clash of kind of cultures. I really don't get it. That has got to be one of the most humorous appointments in a job that I can think of, that I can say on a YouTube channel. There are other ones, but I'm not going to say those. Wow. Yeah, it could have been the guy. They should have had the guy from The Verge who did the build video. He would have been much better, and he would probably know more about technology than Cleggy Weggy said. Yeah, C. McKnight says the same thing. Wow.
Um,
Wow.
go up to Paul Donaldson, bought very big discounts on Amazon products.
Hang on. Kath just said I've got to go back up to Paul Donaldson.
I need a bit.
Mike, what about big discounts on Amazon products? Okay, what Amazon products do you want a discount on? Actually, I could probably do that in some way, shape or form. Yeah, possibly I could do that. If you get a shopping list together of stuff you want to buy on Amazon. No, I can't do that. No, forget I said that. I was thinking of a way of giving you something back from the channel to make your purchases easier, but I don't think I'm legally allowed to do that. Questions, alright, questions. Aletta is in the house. I'm late to the party, didn't know there was a live stream today. Yeah, sorry about that, due to unforeseen circumstances. Yesterday evening was not possible, so we figured we'd do Saturday night. Because, to be honest with you, in the UK, obviously where we are, on a Saturday night there's absolutely jack shit to do, or to watch on TV. There's probably one thing on TV worth watching tonight, and that's the lottery. And that's not really worth watching because chances of you winning are about the same chance of me getting 1 million subscribers this year. So, yeah, figured. Yeah, on that note, have.
5,000.
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, well done, Kath. On that note, yesterday evening, I think it was, into early hours of today, we hit our 5,000 subscriber mark. Yay! Which obviously is a very good thing for the channel, and we've only been going a relatively short time, and we're not kind of like all out geeky whatsits, and we're not streamers, and we're not playing Fortnite all day long, so we're not getting like boatloads of subscribers, but the subscribers we're getting are people who are interested in technology, want to learn how to make stuff and build stuff and repair stuff. So I think that 5,000 subscribers is a massive achievement for the channel, so thank you all, those of you that have subscribed. Thanks to Kath for just keep on relentlessly pushing it and sending the links, and thanks to all you friends and family who've also been doing the same, so thank you all very much. Kath, Aletta says hello. She's making tea, so she's not near the thing. Elite Fires wants discounts on RTX 2080 Ti's. I can do that for you, but unfortunately it's going to be about 5 to 6 years time. By which time you probably won't want one, because we'll all be just plugging graphics cards into the side of our head to watch it through our virtual eyes. Paul Donaldson says, Mike, Amazon have massively. Oh, Amazon have discounted old generation stock like Echo Dot 2 is nearly a tenner cheaper than Echo Dot 3. Fire Stick has been discounted with the 4K Fire Stick coming out. Now that's interesting actually, because Amazon are going to be trying to shut down some of their warehouse stuff now and also get rid of some of the older stock. So I think this year Black Friday is actually going to be really worth looking forward to, and I think there probably will be some really good bargains. And if AMD start to release the 670s and 680s to try and claw back some more of that market share against their rivals, I think Black Friday this year could actually be pretty sweet. It's just a shame that the RAM prices haven't come down. If they were down to like 50% of what they are now, people would be building PCs like crazy, because the Ryzens are at a good price at the moment, the lower end Radeons are at a good price at the moment, the lower end Nvidias are at a good price until they run out of stock. So it's a really good time to build a PC if it wasn't for the damn RAM. It's just letting us down. It's terrible. So I'm just looking at the questions here, and I've just seen a very, very surreal question or comment coming from 80s horror fan. So someone who is into horror and the grotesque side of things, this is the question. So for those of you that can't see the chat, Are there any good looking internal PC Wi-Fi cards? They all seem so ugly. I can kind of, I get what you mean there actually, because when you put them into a PCI Express slot, normally where they sit would either be slightly above your graphics card, which if you're in a case like that, it's going to be completely visible and you're going to see all kinds of PCB and shenanigans going on. You don't particularly want it underneath the graphics card because it's going to block the aerials pointing upward, which are the best orientation for aerials. They're going to block some of your ports on the back of the graphics card. So I kind of get where you're coming with that, but it just seems like for your username to be asking that question was quite good. Thank you very much. Amazon has the Ryzen 1700X cheaper than the 1700. What? Really? Is that in the US or is that, that would be in the US because you're in the US. I'll have to check that out, that's interesting. The 1700X doesn't come with the cooler. In fact, I think that is the box for this. Yeah, that's the 1700X box. And no, it doesn't come with a cooler. All it comes with is the pretty sticker. And it's quite a small box actually, so you wouldn't even get a cooler in there. So no, generally all of the X variety of chips, most of them don't come with coolers because they're deemed as enthusiast chips. Although I think the 2700X does, and I think the 2600X might do as well. The Wraith Prism. Is this chat going all a bit weird? Want to see my hard disk? I promise it isn't 3.5 inches and ain't floppy. Chris Tech Tips.
How's his thing for you getting on?
Chris Tech Tips.
He did the graphics card. He wants you to get he did the fund my graphics card.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it?
Was it Chris Tech Tips?
Yeah.
I recognise Chris Tech Tips as a YouTuber, and I can't think what video I watched.
He wanted you to do the graphics card.
Oh yeah. Good evening, Chris Tech Tips. Dan is not on fire. If you were an ISP, I'd dial you all day long. This is very, very weird. David H, I googled your name earlier. I clicked on I'm feeling lucky. Oh, I think what it is China are about to put a new moon into orbit, and everyone's gone a little bit crazy because the lunar cycle. Yeah, Paul Donaldson actually makes a good comment there, saying that tech is moving so quick now that we never get the chance to have the wow factor anymore, like VHS to DVD, N64 to PlayStation. Will we be blown away by PS4 to PS5? I would say no. Definitely, definitely probably not. And the biggest jumps I've known over the last 20 years, I would say, was the feature phone to the smartphone, which Kath pointed out. The generational leap from probably a couple of graphics cards. Home automation's actually been quite an eye-opener and a bit of a wow factor. The Home Assistant as well, that's been quite good. But generally, most of it's just been the same stuff getting more samey. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat here, and if you're watching this video on the catch-up or whatever, don't watch this. Look at the chat, it's far more interesting. There's some freaky people on there today.
Funny.
Funny, but freaky. Now, 80s horror fan, getting back to tech for just a little wee moment. Searched for months for a nice Wi-Fi card and only found one by Asus in a red aluminium effect. Now, just a thought, maybe, just maybe, you could get a regular one, but get someone to 3D print a cover or jacket for it, which could be pretty cool and could fit in with the theme of your PC. It's a shame that Harvey's not on, because he could probably answer that question for us, because Harvey's a bit of a whiz with the old 3D printer, or Adam from Blind Divide, if he was about, he could probably answer that question as well. Joseph Harris, you must be Windows 95 because you got me feeling so unstable. Very good. If I had the Windows 95 ding noise now, I would definitely play it on a soundboard, but I don't. The leap to DVD smartphone is a good shout though. Yeah, it was a massive leap in technology, and probably most of the viewers that are watching this probably don't realise what we actually came from with mobile phones, because it becomes so kind of, we've had the iPhone now for what, 12 years or so, maybe slightly more, and I think most people in their teens and 20s now have kind of grown up not knowing anything else. But we had some really shitty phones years ago.
What was the iPhone launch?
In actual fact, if you want to watch something which is amazing to watch and actually was groundbreaking at the time, and probably didn't get as many views as it should have at the time, is the original iPhone launch with Steve Jobs. I've said it before on this channel, and I've said it again, that is possibly one of the best pieces of marketing I have ever seen in my entire life. Although I did go to a really weird auction once, but no, Steve Jobs was much better. It is, look it up on Google in a minute or later or whatever. Steve Jobs releases the iPhone. Kath will put the link in the description, in the comments in it. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. He was so charismatic. And the fact that we'd come from kind of feature phones where you didn't have a good display, or you had a text-based browser, you couldn't text people because you didn't know their numbers, or you couldn't have an address book. Weird things like that. So you don't know how lucky we actually are. Oh, it's all kicking off. Joseph Harris, Dan is on fire, and David East. It's going to be like the Royal Rumble in here in a minute. This will be good. Now, actually, that's Paul Donaldson actually come up with something there saying that going from dial-up internet to broadband. Now, that was a game changer for a lot of people. That was a really weird thing as well, because a lot of websites were designed for dial-up for slow access. So when you had broadband and other people didn't, and it was very much, you were kind of on the edge of technology, the bleeding edge, web pages would load so fast. It was insane. Totally was a game changer. The original iMac under a black sheet of material, that was actually a good one. Oh, of course, yeah, and the jump to Windows 95 from DOS and Windows 3.1. Now, I had to use both DOS and Windows 3.1 in one of my first jobs. And then when they upgraded, or Windows 95 came out, it was like, wow, this is really easy. And it just seems so natural. Right, so that I think is pretty much it.
And frizzy hair before GHDs.
Kath says that before GHDs were invented, frizzy hair to straight hair, that was a massive jump in technology when GHDs come out, and women and possibly men, obviously not this man, appreciate men, not this men. This men did not do it. You know what I'm saying. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. We're going to keep this short and sweet tonight so it doesn't go on for hours and hours. We're trying to keep it down to an hour if possible, or maybe slightly more. And also we're getting some weird comments, which I think people need to go and have, I don't know, just maybe talk to somebody. I'll see it. So, I hope you're an ISO file because I'd like to mount you. Now, actually, some of these memes and things that are coming up now, there's something that me and Kath were talking about before we come on there, is we're considering getting some t-shirts made up for people, subscribers and friends, family, whatever, to buy t-shirts, Mike's Unboxing t-shirts. So maybe we can see if we can get some of these memes actually put into designs.
That's just cheap.
And get some t-shirts made up so you guys can wear Mike's Unboxing t-shirts with pride and also make a statement. HSR fan, Steve Jobs was one of a kind. He did so well given he had pancreas cancer. Yeah, 10 years with it. Yeah. No, I don't think I'm supposed to laugh at that. Right, okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. If you like this content and you've had a laugh reading the crazy chat, then give me a like. If you're not subscribed already, click on the subscribe thing, which is somewhere around here. Feel free to join us on Discord for chats and special bargains, courtesy of C. McKnight and Welsh Tony, if he ever surfaces. I've not seen him, so I don't know. Maybe he's... Well, they are closing the Severn Bridge, so maybe he's not allowed over into England or allowed electricity anymore. Or he might be moving house as well, which is a pretty good excuse for not being around. But anyway, thanks guys for watching, and we will see you in the very next video, which hopefully will be... Are we doing next Friday, Kath?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, so it'll be...
No, mornings.
Yes, next live stream will be... Kath's just consulting the diary. Yes, next Friday it will be. So next Friday evening, 9 o'clock, we'll be live again. So if you want to join us for a chat and a laugh, you're more than welcome to. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews Now 2, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Good night.